about Purim that are really very much connected. It says in the Talmud that the reason why the Jews, in times of the miracle of Purim, were going to be, there was a decree that they were going to be wiped out, annihilated. The Talmud says the reason was because, sounds very odd, but it says that the reason was not because they committed adultery or idol worship or stealing or murder or anything, nothing like that. The reason why they were going to be annihilated was because they decided, they made a decision, a political decision that would be wise to get on the king Ahasuerus' good side, and we're going to go to the feast that the king made, and we'll show him that we like him. This way we'll be like, we'll have connections, protexia as they call it, we'll be good. Not only did they go, but they even enjoyed it. So the Talmud says because they went to partake of this meal, to show favor to Ahasuerus, and they enjoyed it, they indulged in that experience, being shown that they were invited, they were very happy to be invited, they were part of the VIP people we were talking about before, so that's why they deserve to be destroyed. Interesting. On the flip side, we find another very interesting thing, that when it came time for the miracle to actually happen, for the decree to be wiped out, what happened was an interesting thing. Esther, when she found out about the decree, she was going to go approach Ahasuerus to tell him, listen, you don't want me to die, you got to get rid of that decree. You have to remember she hadn't been there for 30 days, the king didn't see her. You would think that she would kind of prep herself up a little bit, try to make herself look beautiful and make sure that she looks as presentable and attractive as possible. But we find the opposite. We find that what she told Mordechai that she wanted to do was that everybody was going to have to fast for 3 days and do teshuvah, repent, including herself. So when she went to Ahasuerus to ask him to, come to a meal and then another meal, eventually to ask him to get rid of the decree, she didn't prepare herself by making herself look beautiful. She rather she prepared herself by fasting, which has the opposite effect on a person, makes them look less attractive. How are these two things connected? These two interesting facts about the story of Purim connected, and how is it applicable to us? What does it mean to us? So in a nutshell, it goes as follows. The story of Purim is really about the following message. That is, that as Jews we have to remember that we are not subject to the laws of nature. What do I mean? We're not subject to the laws of nature. Very simple. We shouldn't. Why were we deserving of being destroyed? Was because we decided to go within the order of nature. We're going to try to get some protexia, make the king like us, show him that we like him. That's the way we're going to save ourselves. God was going to show them, you think you're going to go the natural way? That ain't going to help you. He made this decree to annihilate them. And on the flip side, when it came time to make the miracle come about, Esther didn't prepare herself in a physical way to look as attractive as she could. On the contrary, she didn't care about that so much. She knew that she would have to approach Ahasuerus to talk to him, of course, but that wasn't her preparation. Her preparation was instead a spiritual one. It was to prepare herself to do teshuvah, to repent. In other words, she recognized the mistake that they had made. They had made a mistake to think that the physical was the most important. She recognized that mistake, and she decided to change it. She decided to rectify that. And her approach was that she was going to take a spiritual road and not to pay so much attention to the physical. She was going to fast. Even if it would have a detrimental effect on her appearance, she was going to fast to prepare herself spiritually to be worthy of a miracle. The message for us is that we have to be very cognizant. We have to think about this. As Jews, what's important for us, the message for Purim is, yes, we go through life, we're physical people in the material world, of course, but we have to remember that that's not what guides us, that's not what controls us, that's not what determines our future. What determines our future and what helps us go through life is our spiritual reality. Doing more mitzvahs, studying more Torah, recognizing that that's how we make a vessel for God's blessings, that's the road we have to take. And that's the message of Purim. Now, have you ever heard a sermon from a guy wearing a headpiece, a headpiece get up before?
Yes.
Well, before born tonight?
He was in Woodstock.
No. All right, happy Purim, everybody.
Happy Purim.
Purim 2012, Chabatas North Fulton.
You all know this song, so please sing along with me.